Hi everyone, Kate Butler here. Happy Wednesday. How is everyone doing? I want to pop on today and talk about an amazing, brilliant way to block miracles in your life, because I am seeing this show up right and left, and I feel like, ooh, hello. Hi Heather, hi Krista, how's everyone doing? So for all my beautiful people who are joining me today, if you feel like there is a soul sister in your life who you want to see receiving more magic, a soul sister in your life, a friend, a loved one, a beautiful business bestie that you would love to just see more magic being created in their life, see them receiving more beautiful things in their life, feeling like they deserve the world and then some, right? All the goodness the universe has to offer. Share this video with them. Share it now, share it when you're done, share it if you gained value. But this is for all of you. Oh, I'm holding this beautiful crystal in my hand. I didn't even realize that. I was meditating with it and I never let it go. And this really is for all of you beautiful women out there who, and men too, I see a couple of you on here, so we're not discriminating, but this is coming from my heart. And so I want the women out there to know what I realize you're experiencing, because I have experienced it too. And that's why my message is being directly and specific to you. And what we're talking about here today is all of you magnificent generators out there, you people who are creative rock stars and innovators, and the creative juices are flowing, and you can put ideas out with the best of them, and you can create content, and you can create amazing ideas, and you can make shit happen, and you are out there doing it, right? And it is amazing to me how these people who live in such a productive and such a creative and such an innovative space often can be the people who are blocking the miracles from coming to them the most. And this became so clear to me this morning when I was at the gym, actually. So many of you may know, some of you may not know, but where I live here in southern New Jersey, it's right outside of Philadelphia, it's south of New York City, and right outside of Philadelphia as well. We have so many of these top online players, I guess you can call them, right? So many of these amazing people that you see online, these really killer online entrepreneurs that you're seeing out there. Many of them live right here in my area. They live in my town. They live right outside of my town. So I run into these people in real life, right? And I ran into one of these mega online rock stars today at the gym. And this person actually was one of my first meditation teachers in the way of expanding me more towards Kundalini meditation and things like that. She is one of the most amazing human beings. Most of you know her. Many of you have taken her amazing programs. She's a freaking rock star. Absolutely amazing. And we started chatting today as we're doing our workout and our weights and things like that. And it was interesting to me what started bubbling up. And it was in the way of this person who it's so easy for her to generate this amazing, expansive, beautiful information that goes on to serve all of the people who have access to it. It goes on to serve hundreds and hundreds of women. It goes on to really highly impact their life. I know because it's impacted mine. I know by the testimonials that this person has. I know because I actually know her in real life, and I have seen and heard the people that she has touched and how she's changed their lives. And here I am talking with someone like this morning and realizing that she is in this creative mode most of the time, but still wondering why things aren't popping for her at the extent that she would like them to. She's wondering maybe why she isn't making a bigger impact, because her mission in life is to touch as many lives as possible with her work, right? She's wondering why her reach hasn't extended, why her reach hasn't become bigger. She's wondering why she is feeling kind of stagnant, or feeling like she is in this kind of the same position for, in her opinion, too long at this time, right? Because her content is brilliant. Her mind is brilliant. Her consciousness is expanded. Her tribe is obsessed with her, And I'm talking about this one example, but I get this too, because I went through this all last year, right? So many of us have been in this situation before where we feel like, I have this amazing message to share, or I have this amazing program to share, or I have this amazing book to share, and how come it did not explode in the way that I thought that it would? Because I know that when it does get to people, it changes their lives, right? So why isn't this getting a bigger reach? Why isn't this getting a bigger impact? And it was so interesting when I started to hear some of the conversation today, that the reason that it's not coming is because you're blocking it from coming. The reason that it is not on its way, it didn't get to you, is because it was on its way to you, but yet we do things consistently in our personal habits, in our business habits, and in our daily habits to literally block these miracles from coming our way. And yes, they're miracles. That's exactly what they are. When everything works out, when everything is synchronistic, when all of the stars aligned, that is a miracle, my friends. That is what we are talking about here. That is what that is. And it can show up in your life most moments. It can show up in your daily life on a consistent basis. It can show up in really huge ways in your relationships and in your business life. But these are miracles. Let's call them what they are, and let's recognize it. If you're not receiving in the way that I just described, if you feel like you are stuck in this exact same spot, right? If you feel like, I have this message, how come more people aren't being impacted by it? If you feel like, how come I have this launch and, I thought that 500 more people would have signed up than really did sign up. What's going on, and how come we're blocking this from coming into our life, right? So that's the question, and that's really where we need to really start digging deep and looking at what is going on in our personal life every single day. Not just our life, but our habits. What are our habits that we are doing that is creating our capacity to receive, to shrink and shrink and shrink versus grow and grow and grow, right? And a lot of what obviously comes up for a lot of people when we're talking about this type of thing is that energy that we're putting out, that we're not really worthy of receiving it, right? So that your information is life-changing, yet you feel like once you put it out to the world, well, could it possibly actually be good enough? Do I really feel like it's as amazing as I think it is? There's so many mind tricks that we play with ourselves to keep us in this smallness, in this zone where we are playing games so that we do not have to receive the greatness that is on its way to us. That's really actually one of the biggest things that we do. We work so hard to build up to get to that point. We work so hard to create. The creativity usually comes natural to us, but then we're working so hard to package it up, to put it together. And then as soon as we put it out and we birth it, we do everything in our power to talk ourselves out of actually receiving all of the goodness that we just worked so hard for. Yes? Can anyone out there relate to this? Talking themselves out of all of the magic that you literally just spent the last couple of weeks or months or maybe even years creating, right? So somebody just said to me recently, in the process of writing a children's book, and she said, when you publish your first book or your second children's book or any of your books, they said, did you ever feel like, what if I put it out there and no one reads it? Can I tell you how many books haven't been written because of that one thought that we talk ourselves out of that? We say, I know I have the story to share. It's probably sitting, you guys all probably have a book sitting in your computer right now, right? Or at least chapter titles, right? You probably have ideas written down in journals that you know would be highly impactful for so many other people out there, right? But we have this fear, and this is just one of them, that what if I put it out there and nobody reads it? Well, what if? I said, of course I had that thought. Of course I had that thought. And you know what I said after that thought? I don't care. If nobody reads it, that's okay. My first book was my legacy to my children. My first book was literally a children's book that I put through a mommy's eyes. That's what it says in the book, right? So I show my daughters how I view them through my eyes. So they will always have that moment captured in their life where I looked at them as a baby and I looked at them growing up and I looked at them as a toddler and then as a child, and what I felt and what I saw through my eyes, right? How often do you get to see you through your mother's eyes? Never, unless she did something like that, right? And so what a beautiful gift. It was my legacy to them, right? And so if no one read it, it was perfectly okay. And I had to be okay with that and not talk myself out of the brilliance that became the first book that ended up being on the Amazon bestseller charts for over 100 weeks straight. This is not a #1 bestseller that was on the Amazon charts for an hour and I got a screenshot, right? This was a bestseller on Amazon for over 100 weeks straight. Freaking amazing, right? Got turned into a play and everything else that goes along with that, right? And that's just one example. But how many of us out there, and I don't care if it's a book or if it's not a book, if it's a book, if it's a program, if it's, starting a new company, getting into a new job, whatever it is, right? But how often are we saying, I know that I have this, right? I know that I have this feeling, right? Or this knowing, or I know that I have this message or these words, right? And then we're just saying, but who would listen, right? But who would read it? But who would buy it? But who would be touched by it? But who would be impacted by it, right? And so my ask today is to stop that. Stop talking yourself out of your brilliance. Get on board. My ride is here. I have to go. Going out to dinner with one of my beautiful friends tonight, actually a couple of them, but my one here is to pick me up, so I'm gonna run. But my ask, really truly, this is important in all seriousness, is to really commit to the knowing, really commit to the brilliance, really commit to the core genius, yes, and catch yourself, acknowledge, pay attention to when you are talking yourself out of your brilliance, yes? So that you can recognize that this was my brilliance, this is my smallness, keeping me safe over here, and how do I bridge these two together or kick out the smallness completely, show up for your brilliance, and give everyone else an opportunity to show up for you, yes? So please give the people an opportunity to show up because they are waiting for you. Okay, I love you all. Thank you for being here tonight, and I hope you have a brilliant night. Bye-bye.